Welcome to Maths Entry. This is 2025 November 2H paper. Let's move on to the first question. The first question says the point P has coordinates 3, 4. The point Q has coordinate 9, 16. M is the midpoint of the line PQ. Find the coordinates of M. We have to remember what the midpoint formula is. Assume that there is a line PQ like this. Okay, I'm drawing a line PQ like this. Right, let's label it as PQ. This is P, this is Q. And here, this is the midpoint. So, if this is X1, if this is Y1, getting them as coordinate. If this is X2, if this is Y2, the midpoint I'm labeling as X and Y. There's a formula to get the midpoint. So X1 equals X equals X1 plus X2 divided by 2. Y equals Y1 plus Y2 divided by 2. Now we've been given here coordinates in this way. P is given as 3, 4. And Q is given as 9, 16. So let's substitute the values that we've been given here. Then I can get what the midpoint coordinate is. So X equals X1, which is 3 plus X2, which is 9. 3 plus 9, 12. 12 divided by 2, 6. Then my X coordinate is 6. Let's get what Y is. Y1, which is 4. Y2, which is 16. Divided by 2, which means 20 divided by 2, which is 10. So it is 6, 10. Remember the formula. Question 2, simultaneous equations. When we are doing this question, I want you to do the very first thing is take out your calculator. After that, remember the mode 5, 1. That's the mode that you got to get. Let's do it from the beginning. Mode 5, 1. This is the simultaneous equation format. After that, check out your question whether the settings been arranged properly. It means x below x. Always x should be the first case. So x below x, y below y, equal sign below equal sign, and the number below number. This is the setting. This setting should be there. If you don't have the setting, you have to rearrange it and use the calculator. So the first thing, the first number that you got to enter into the calculator is here x. So the number for x here is 5. You have to get the coefficient of x, which is 5. 5 equals the coefficient of y here is 1. 1 equals, because there is an invisible 1 in front of y. The other number is 11. 11 equals. Second equation, the coefficient of x is 3. 3 equals, coefficient of y is minus 1. Minus 1 equals, 9 equals, again equals. Finally, you have to enter another equal sign. So, x value is 5 over 2. Y value is minus 3 over 2. Then we got to write the answers first here. Let's write down the answers. So, the answer here is x equals 5 over 2, which means 2.5. Y equals minus 1.5. Y equals minus 1.5. Those are the values that calculator gave us. Then let's move on to the process. When doing this question, the first thing that we got to do here is label the equations. So equation 1, equation 2. After that, since I have very limited space here, I'm going to divide this one into 2 parts. Okay. Now I'm done. Then let's move on to the question again. First step, now check out the number in front of x. Here, the first question. You go to the second equation, multiply by that number. Here, There are a lot of methods that we can use to solve simultaneous equations. Since this is paper walk through, so I got to explain a common method. For any two types of simultaneous equation, you can apply this method. Get the coefficient of the first equation, get the coefficient of x of the first equation. It means get the number which is in front of x, which is 5. Go to the second equation and multiply by that number. Come to the second equation and get the coefficient of x, which is 3 in this case. Go to the first equation and multiply by this one. Then I need to multiply both the equations to match the coefficients of x. So I'm multiplying, then 3 times 5, 15x plus 3y equals 33. Second one, 15x minus 5y equals 45. Here there are easier methods, so you need to memorize those methods. This method works for any simultaneous equations. So this is equation 3, this is equation 4. Now always subtract the third equation, equation 3 minus equation 4. So let's subtract. Now assume that this thing instruction is as your roadmap. So we're gonna apply this one according to this roadmap. This is the map that we have to follow. So the map says, the instruction says that write the third equation first. So I'm gonna write 15x plus 3y. After that, I have here minus. Then this one says again fourth equation. So get everything in the fourth equation. Remember, when you are writing the fourth equation stuff, open bracket. For always open a bracket. 15x minus 5y. Now close the bracket. Then third equation, which is 33 minus fourth equation, which is 45. Right? So we are done with that one. Then let's simplify. Let's simplify and get the answers. Here 15x. I'm going to simplify here 15x plus 3y minus 15x minus here plus 5y equals 33 minus 45. So 33 minus 45 will give out 33 minus 45 equals minus 12. So it is minus 12. Now let's see this x, 15x minus 15x, they get cancelled out. That's our goal, cancelling out the x terms. Then 3y plus 5y, which becomes 8y. 8y equals minus 12. To get y, I got to divide this one by 8, then this side by 8. 8 cancelled out. Then y equals 4 times 2, 4 times 3, minus 3 over 2, which becomes minus 1.5, which is correct. So I verified my answer. Afterwards, we need to get what y is. To get y, we have to get the one of the equations which is given, get the easiest one. So, I'm getting the first one, both are same. So 5x plus y equals 11. The value that you got for y get substituted into this one. So instead of y, we got to write what we got from this equation. We got minus 1.5. So I'm writing 5x minus 1.5, 11 equals 11. Then 5x equals 11 plus 1.5. 5x equals 12.5. Then I have to divide both sides by 5. So x equals, let's see what we are getting. 12.5 divide by 5, which gives out 5 over 2. So this is 5 over 2, which means 2.5, which is. Now we verified our answer, therefore we can. Question 3. Question 3 says a box contains only 9 bricks, 43 blue bricks, and some yellow bricks. 7 over 20 of the bricks are yellow bricks. Each brick weighs 35 grams. Work out the total weight of the yellow bricks. So we need to get the total weight of the yellow bricks. How do you get that? I know that one brick, each brick weighs 35 grams. So I know that each brick weighs 35 grams. Here it's given. So if I know the number of yellow bricks, we are done. We can get the total weight of the yellow bricks. How do we get that total yellow bricks? We've been given here a hint. 7 over 20 of the bricks are yellow bricks. But we don't know that the number of bricks. We know that there are 9 red bricks, 43 blue bricks. Then if 7 over 20 represents yellow, the remaining fraction is 20 minus 7, which is equals to 13. Then I can say that 13 over 20 should be represented by red and blue. Red and blue. Right? Then I can write like this proportion. 13 parts is equal to, here how many bricks? None yellow. 9 plus 43, which becomes 52. Then I know that 13 parts equals 52. Then let's get one part. One part represents 52 divided by 13 equals 4. Then I know that one part out of this 20 represents 4 bricks. Now, if you get one part out of that 20, 4 bricks. Then there are how many parts for the yellow? 7 parts. Then I have to get 7 parts. 7 parts represent 4 into 7, which becomes as 28 bricks. Then how many yellow bricks are there? There are 28 yellow bricks. I know that each brick weighs 35 grams. Therefore, 28 bricks weigh 28 into 35 equals 980. 980 grams. So the total weight of the yellow bricks are 980 grams. Question 4, similar figures. Here are 3 similar quadrilaterals. Work out the length of JK. This is JK. So we got to get the length of JK. And these 3 figures are similar to each other. Wherever we get similar quadrilaterals, similar figures, we have to deal with the scale factor. How do we get scale factor? Scale factor, since this is not involved with area or volume, these are 2D figures. Therefore, there is only possible scale factor is length ratio. So scale factor equals L1 over L2, which is known as K. This is the common letter for the scale factor. So if you can get what K is in between any 2 figures, you are done. Let's see whether we can get the scale factor of between these 2. So I want to get this length. So you need to go to this figure and check out whether the corresponding length is given. Corresponding length is not given. Therefore, although you can get this length ratio or the scale factor, it is pointless because you don't know what the corresponding length is. Therefore, we'll get this length first. Then we can apply the scale factor with this one and we can get this length. So to get this length, if I'm considering this one and this one, yes, corresponding length of this one is given here. Corresponding length means as same as this length of the other figure. Now, if you are coming to this figure, this length is as same as this one, other than it is lengthier than this one, right? So, this is corresponding. There is another way to pick the corresponding length. You have to go to the opposite angle, come to the same angle, get the opposite length. That's the correct way. So, just at a glance, I can see that this is corresponding to this one. If not, that is the exact way that you have to get the corresponding length, always to the opposite angle, the length which is opposite to the angle. Right. Now, we know that these two sides are corresponding. Then let's try to get the scale factor of these two figures. So I'm labeling this one. This figure is A, this is B, this is C. I'm coming from B to A to get the scale factor. So let's write L1 over L2 equals K. So I'm writing L1, let's write 7 centimeters. And L2, you have to get the corresponding length for this one, which is 28 centimeter, which becomes 1 over 4. Now we have the scale factor B to A from this one to this one. Then we can get what FG is. So when I'm getting FG, FG equals scale factor times the corresponding length from this figure. What's the corresponding length? Which is BC, which means 60 centimeters. So which means this is 15 centimeters. So we have this one now. Now again, let's focus on these two. Now I need to get the scale factor again. Now I'm getting the scale factor from C to B. So if I'm getting the scale factor C to B, again let's write L1 over L2, which becomes the scale factor of these two. How to get it? L1, it is 6. L2, which is, what is the corresponding length for this one from this figure, which is 18, equals 1 over 3. So again, how do we pick the corresponding length? You can easily get it as the length which is in front of the 90 degree here. Or at a glance, it is as same as this one. So we have the scale factor. Now easily we can get JK. So I can write JK equals scale factor times, which is 1 over 3. Now you have to get the corresponding length from the other one, which we got. This is the length we need to get. This is the corresponding length. We have to multiply by the corresponding length, which is 15. So 3 times 1, 3 times 5, which becomes 5. Therefore, length is 5 centimeters. Question 5, percentages. This is the question. Artist sells ice creams. On Friday, artist sells 75 ice creams. On Saturday, artist sells 87 ice creams. Work out the percentage increase the number of ice creams artist sells from Friday to Saturday. For getting percentage increase, there is a formula. If you can memorize the formula, it is so easy. I'm going to explain what the formula is. Let's say there is a moment that you are buying something. Let's say there is a car or van, something. Okay. This is the moment that you're going to buy it. So the moment that you are buying it, we call it cost or original. That's the moment that you're going to buy it. After you bought this, it becomes bit different, old or something. So after you bought it, we call it new value or the selling price. In between moment that it will get decreased, increased, we call it change. So that one will be R percent. So when you need to get R percent equals always the difference of these two values. Okay. difference of original and new value. After something happened, after this change happened, the value get different. So we say that difference, this is the common term. The difference in this case, the difference becomes increase. So the value of increasement. Always remember here original. So original value into 100. So let's substitute. What is the difference? 87 minus 75. Why? On Friday, artist sells 75 ice creams. On Saturday, artist sells 87 ice creams. So originally, he sold 75 ice creams. Then original value, 75. Initial value. You can write here initial value as well for the cost. So initially, he sold 75 and into 100. So use the calculator and get the answer. 87 minus 75 over 75 into 100 equals 16. So this one becomes as 16%. Part B, Claudia buys an ice cream machine for 960 Swiss francs. So she bought it. Now remember, this is the original value, initial value. The value of the ice cream machine depreciates by 20% each year, getting decreased. Work out the value of the ice cream machine at the end of 3 years. There's another formula for that. So we can write the new value, or after effect one, new value equals the initial value or the cost, which means the principal value, 1 plus or minus r over 100, the whole thing to be raised to the power of n. N means number of years. Number of years. R means percentage. P means initial value or the cost or the original value. So let's substitute. The cost for that ice cream machine was 960 Swiss francs. 1, this gets depreciated, therefore minus 20 over 100. How many number of years? 3 years of time. Again, use the calculator. 960 into brackets 1 minus 20 over 100 raised to the power of 3 equals 491.52. Now, since we had been asked to leave our answer to any degree of accuracy, we can write it as it is. So, I'm writing 491.52. Question 6. A large circle with center O, this is the large circle, center O, contains 3 identical small circles. So, this circle and these 3 are identical. They are inside this large circle. Each circle touches 2 other circles. A, O, B are the centers of small circles. A, O, B is a straight line. The circumference of the large circle is 160 centimeter. So the circumference of the large circle is given. Work out the area of the one small circle. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we got to get the area of one small circle. First, let's think like that. To get the area of one small circle, what's the formula? So area of a circle, you don't get it in the formula sheet. Area of circle equals pi r squared. Remember it in this way, r squared. So some students get confused with the area and the circumference. We know that for any area, we write it as centimeter squared. Then the squared comes for the area. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. Now to get the area of the small circle, I gotta get what r is. So our goal is to get what r is. To get r, there is a hint. The circumference of the large circle is 160 centimeter. Now, if you don't understand anything, always start off with the hint. You are getting 1 mark, I'm sure. So let's start off with that circumference first. Circumference. What's the formula for the circumference? Circumference equals pi d, or there's another formula 2 pi r. The both of them we can use. So in this case, I'm going to use, let's use pi d. So I can write 160 equals, so I'm using 160 equals pi d for the bigger circle. Then I can get what d is. D equals 160 over pi. Now I'm gonna draw a line here. Okay, let's draw that. This is the diameter. Let's draw the radius of this bigger circle. So this is the radius. So I want to get the radius of the smaller circle. I know that how many radii are embedded in this bigger radius. So if I count like this, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 radii, there are 3 small radii are embedded in the bigger radius. Therefore, if I want to get the radius, now this is the diameter. Let's get the radius of the bigger circle. Since it is the bigger one, I'm going to use the capital R for that. So I'm using for this one, capital R. So R equals 160 pi over 2, which becomes 80 over pi. Okay. Now I have the radius of the bigger circle. So I know that there are 3 radii of the smaller circle embedded in this one. So to get simple r, little r, I gotta divide this 80 over pi by 3. So I need to divide it by 3. Then I can write 80 over 3 pi. Now we have the radius of the small circle. So the area becomes, area equals pi r squared. Then pi r is 80 over 3 pi squared. Now let's use the calculator and plug in the values. Pi into brackets 80 over 3 pi, close the bracket, raised to the power of 2. What's the answer? 226.35. 226.35. So we've been asked to leave our answer to the third significant figure. So the fourth significant figure is 3. Therefore, we don't want to add anything. Then I can leave my answer as 226 squared centimeter. Question 7, factorizing. Factorize x squared plus 2x minus 48. You got to understand this one as a quadratic one. When you are having a quadratic one, how do you recognize a quadratic one? So when you've been given an expression in this format, ax squared plus bx plus c. In this expression, if you consider the x, letter x, the highest power of the x is 2. Then we call it quadratic. No matter what other letters are, if you go through that x, if the highest power is 2, it is quadratic. Now you know that the number in front of x squared is a, the number in front of b is b, just the number without letter x, it is c. So let's list out this a, b, c depending on this expression. So I am getting a equals, in this case, the number in front of x squared is 1. B equals, the number in front of x is 2. C equals minus 48. Right, now take out your calculator and go to the format mod 5 3. After that, plug in these values. So 1 equals 2 equals minus 48 equals. Again equals. So the calculator, it is giving two answers. X1 equals 6 and the other one is x2 equals minus 8. So write down those two answers here. X equals 6, x equals minus 8. Don't write x1, x2. Just write x equals 6, x equals minus 8. After that, now you need to convert these answers into factors. So let's convert them. Then you are going to write brackets x. So when you are getting a positive 1, make it negative. X minus 6. And if you are getting negative 1, convert it as positive 1. Right. So these are the two factors. That's it. You can do it manually. I can do it manually as well. If you want, leave me a comment to do it as manual way. Here, next one, hence solve. So hence solve x squared plus 2x minus 48 equals 0. Hence means you got to use these factors here. So whatever the calculator gives out are the answers. So I know that my answers has to be x equals 0, x equals minus 8. Answers to be written here, solve part. Solve means you are asked to give the answers. Calculator is giving us the answers. We are converting them into factors. So just simply write these two factors because hence is given there. Equals 0. Right, that's it. Question 8. Write 5.76 into 10 to the power 4 as an ordinary number. Ordinary number means you need to multiply out and expand it, not as the 10 to the power of something. You got to expand it. So in this case, this is 10 to the power of 4. You can use the calculator as well. If not, you can do it manually. You have to make this decimal point jump 4 times. So let's make it jump 4 times. Then I'm getting 57,600. This one, part B, 3 into 10 to the power of 5 plus 8 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. There are a lot of ways that we can do. If you want, you can use the calculator. If you are using the calculator, it is still fine because this is 2-mark question. Sometimes you are getting higher powers here. Then there's a separate method. It means 10 to the power of 105, 10 to the power of 114 likewise. Then you can't use the calculator. So I'm going to teach you the manual way. If in case you get a higher power here, you can use this method. Still, for this question, you can use the calculator. Okay. So let's do it in manually. So I know that 10 to the power of 3 is common for both the cases. I'm factorizing 10 to the power of 3, then 3 into 10 to the power of 2 plus 8 over 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. So I can write 10 to the power of 3. This is 300 plus 8 over 4 into 10 to the power of 2. Right? So this is 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of minus 2. I can deal with these two. Therefore, I'm keeping it as they are. Don't try to simplify them. Here 308. So this one, 10 to the power of 5. Why? Because 3 10 to the power of 3 minus minus 2, which becomes 10 to the power of 5. So final answer comes as 10 to the power of 5 into 308. Now once we leave our answer 3.08 10 to the power 7. So you can do it using the calculator. That's fine. Totally fine. I taught you if in case that you are getting here 10 to the power of 100, 101 like that, you can apply this method. Question 9 under probability. Mark has 3 bags, bag A, bag B and bag C. Bag A contains 120 counters. The probability of taking at random a red counter from bag A is 0.45. Bag B contains 80 counters. The probability of taking at random red counter from bag B is 0.3. Bag C is empty. Mark puts all the counters from bag A and bag B into bag C. Mark takes at random a counter from bag C. Work out the probability that he takes a red counter. Right. How do you get it? We know that there is a bag A. That bag A contains 120 counters. Now the probability that picking a red counter from bag A is 0.45. The meaning of this one is, let's say that you are putting your hand into that bag A and taking one counter. Then being that counter is red, the possibility of being that counter is red is 0.45. If you are picking again, then the being that both the counters are being read is 2 into 0.45. Then we can figure out number of red counters in this way in bag A because there are 120 chances, right? So if you want to check whether they are red or not, you have to put your hand into that bag 120 times. Then we can, through that, we can figure out the number of red counters. So let's write it in this way, number of red counters in bag A. We can get it 120 times 0.45 equals 120 times 0.45 equals 54. So it is 54. Right. Next one, number of red counters, same way. Number of red counters in bag B. Same way, there are 80 counters in that bag. Being a red counter, the probability of being a red counter is 0.3. So we get a multiplied by 0.3. Then we can get number of red counters in bag B as well. 80 into 0.3 equals 24. Then there are 24 red counters in bag B. Then we can get the total red counters. Total red counters equals 54 plus 24, which becomes as 78. Then we know that altogether there are 200 counters, right? Altogether 200 counters. Therefore, becoming a red counter equals 78 over 200. How did I get 200? I know that in bag A 120, in bag B 80 counters, then altogether there are 200 counters. Among that 200, there are 78 red counters we formed here. Therefore, the probability being a red counter is 78 over 200. Once you simplify it, you are getting 39 over 100. So the answer is 39 over 100. Question 10, inequalities. In this question, on the number line, represent the inequality W is smaller than 1. So W is smaller than 1. Here in this inequality sign, this side is closed. If the closed side is facing to the letter, you got to read it as W is smaller than. It is obvious. This side is wide open. This is greater side, right? Always we start off reading the inequality with the letter. Let's say that you've been given the inequality in this way. Let's say it is something like this. Then still you gotta read it as W is greater than 1. Always we read the inequality with the letter. Now in this case, this is W is smaller than, because if we get this inequality sign, this side is closed mouth, this side is open, wide open side. So wide open side we indicate for the greater part. The closed part we indicate for the smaller than part. Now this is W is smaller than 1. Then you have to, after that, you have to come to the number line and figure out where that boundary lies. In this case, the boundary lies on 1. This is the boundary. After that, this one says that W is smaller than 1. Then you got to move to this side to indicate smaller region. This is it. Let's say if in case you are getting the inequality like this, W is smaller than or equals 1. To write down this one, I got to spend more ink, my ink, right? To write smaller than or equals. Then to indicate this one, you got to spend more ink on shading this one as well, right? Since there is no equal sign, you have to just write that open circle, not the shaded one. This is it. Then let's move on to the other part, graphical inequalities. When we have to deal with graphical inequalities, the region R shown shaded in the diagram is bounded by 3 straight lines. Write down the 3 inequalities that define the region R. So we have to find out 3 inequalities which represent this shaded region. Before doing anything else, let's highlight those straight lines. Let's highlight them in this way. Right. We'll get red color and dotted line. Right. We have this line, not dotted line, I'm sorry. We can't use dotted line. Let's get solid line and red. Okay. Right. This line and this one and this one. Okay. So you need to know that there are 2 types of straight lines. Okay. 3 types of straight lines. Without knowing those types of straight lines, you are unable to form the equation of this one. Let's say that y equals any number. Let's say that y equals 3. Then you have to come to the y-axis, which is this one. This is x-axis. You have to come to the y-axis and figure out where 3 lies and draw the line which passes through the y-axis. This is y equals 3. And the very important one is then this one, x-axis. The equation of the x-axis is y equals 0 because this line passes through the 0 of the y-axis. Then it is y equals 0. X-axis, it is y equals 0. The other one is, let's say that x equals any number. Can you see there is no any y term? Here no any x term. Just y equals a number, x equals a number. Then you have to go to the x-axis, figure out where 3 lies and draw a line that passes through the 3. And let's say that you need to get the equation of y-axis. It is the position where this line passes through the 0 on x-axis. Therefore, the equation of y-axis becomes as x equals 0. Right? The other type is slant line. This is you have to figure it out, y equals mx plus c type. So to draw this one, let's say that you are asked to draw, you can use the table format in the calculator, or if the graph is given in this way, you should know how to form the equation as well. Okay, let's focus on this question now. This is the region. Then we need to get the equation of this line. This is the line which passes through y-axis. Here it is the coordinate where it passes through at 4. Therefore, the equation of this one is y equals 4. This one is passing through the x-axis at -3. Therefore, equation of this line is x equals -3. Now, this is the type of line which is y equals mx plus c. Then you need to get the gradient. How do you get the gradient? We know that to get the gradient, there is a gradient formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the gradient formula. Then you have to have two coordinates. Get two coordinates. I can get easily on the line. Remember, not anywhere else. You have to go along the line and find two coordinates. So this coordinate, it is easy, 0, 0. I'm getting one coordinate as 0, 0. And the other coordinate I'm getting, let's get this one, 4, 4. 4, 4. So let's substitute the values. This is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. Then y2 is 4 minus 0. x2 is 4 minus 0, which becomes the gradient is 1. Then I can form the equation in this way. Y equals x, because mx, the standard equation is y equals mx plus c. Y equals mx plus c. Since m is 1, it becomes x plus c. Now c is the position where it cuts the y-axis. In this case, this line cuts the y-axis at 0. Therefore, y-intercept becomes 0. Then this is y equals x, the equation. Basically, if you are getting same coordinate for x and y, here this is 1, 1, this is 2, 2, this is 3, 3, it is y equals x. Or you should know if it is something else rather than y equals x type, rather than this type, you should know how to form the equation. You have to get the gradient. You have to figure out what the y-intercept is. Then form the equation. Right. Now we have all three equations. This is y equals x. So let's write down the inequalities. This is the way how we think it. So you have being on this line. Being on this line, to represent this region, you need to come down. Here, you need to come down. So therefore, this inequality becomes y is, one inequality is y is smaller than or equals 4. Why there is an equal sign? Because this line is not a dotted line. It's a solid line. Right. Now, being on this line, to represent this inequality, again I have to go to this side here, not to this side. Then I can write x should be, when moving to this side, what is happening? X values are getting bigger and bigger, right? Therefore, x is greater than or equals -3. The other one, last one, being on this line, I need to go to upwards here, this side, to represent this inequality. Then when moving upwards, what's happening to y value? Here 1, 2, 3. Y is getting greater. Then the last inequality becomes y is greater than or equals x. So these are the three inequalities. Question 11. The diagram shows a right angle triangle ABC. So this is right angle triangle ABC. Area of triangle ABC is 240 square centimeter. Work out the perimeter of the triangle ABC. Right, I need to get the perimeter. So what's the meaning of perimeter? Adding up all three sides of the triangle. Then I have to have all three sides of the triangle. So I have only one side, and we've been given a hint here. I I've several times I've told you that if we've been given a hint, start off with the hint. You are getting 1 mark. So area of the triangle, I know that area equals half into base into height. Here, how to figure out what's base, what's height? You need to circle this out. These two sides make 90 degree, which makes 90 degree becomes base and height. So half base 30, we don't know what height is. Label it as H or AC. Area is given as 240 square centimeter. Then I can get what H is, which means AC. So this is, let's write here AC, then it is easy. This is AC. Then AC equals 240. This everything is connected with multiplication. When I am moving them to this side, they become division. Then use the calculator and get the answer. Here I'm using it. 240 over half into 30. Equals 16. So this side is 16. We have this side. Now it is 16. Let's write it. I got this one as 16. Now this is again 90-degree triangle. When you have two sides and if you want to get the other side, apply the Pythagorean theorem. So let's apply that one here. Pythagorean theorem, which means AC squared equals, you have to start off with the hypotenuse. So what is hypotenuse in this case, which is BC. So let's start off with BC. BC squared is equal to AC squared plus AB squared. So AC, then BC equals AC squared. We got it as 16 squared. AB squared, we've been given it as 30. 30 squared. Need to get rid of squared form, then root. Then answer comes as root of 16 squared plus 30 squared equals 34. It is 34. Right, now we have all three sides of this one. This is 16, this is 30, this is 34. Now to get the perimeter, I need to add all three sides, all the outer lines to be added together to get the perimeter. So let's add them all together, which means perimeter equals, here this one 34, 16 and plus 30. Once we add them, we are getting 34 plus 16 plus 30. It is 80. So the answer is 80 centimeters. Question 12, graphs. To do this question, complete the table of values for y equals half times x plus 4 over x. So we need to fill in the blanks of this table. For doing that one, you can use the calculator. Let's take out the calculator and input this equation into the calculator. So how do we input the equation into the calculator? You need to get the table format. Table format is 7, mod 7. So I'm getting mod 7. So f of x. F of x means y. this y equals part is given from the calculator. You need to input the rest. Let's input the rest. Y is given as f of x. So half, let's input half, 1 over 2, done, brackets, x plus, how to get x, alpha and this bracket, alpha and this bracket of the calculator, x plus 4 over x, 4 over alpha and this one, then close the bracket. Right, now we are having the equation, then press equal sign. If you are getting g of x, just ignore it and press the equal sign again. Starts with here you have to, can you see the x value that you're going to start off with this table? It is 0.5. So input start as 0.5, again equals, and end at 6. So give it as 6. The end value of x, it is 6, equals. Then step, you need to give the step. Since there is 0.5, it is okay to give 0.5. So I'm giving 0.5. Then you have to ignore some values from the table. So can you see there are unwanted values as well? So let's ignore those unwanted values. So first one is 1. For 1, you are getting 2.5. So let's input 2.5 here. Second one 2. Let's input 2.5. The second value is 2. For that one, it is 2. 2, 2. Here the second value, it is, if we go down, it is 2, 2. So we got both the 2 values. Now we're done with the table. Let's move on to the plotting part. Now we have the completed table and we have the grid here. We need to plot them and draw the curve. Let's plot them and draw the curve. First one is 0.5, 4.25. 0.5 is here, 4.25 all the way here, 4.25, 1, 2, 2, 5 here. Next one, 1, 2.5, 1, 2, 2.5 here. Next one, 2, 2, 2, 2. Third one, 3, 2.17, 3, 2.17. 4, 2.5, 4, 2.5, 5, 2.9, 5, 2.9, 6, 3.333, 1, 2, 3 here. Right, now let's draw the curve. Okay, let's do part C then. So part C, by drawing a suitable line, part C, by drawing a suitable line on the grid, find estimates for the solutions of the equation x plus 4 over x equals 6. This is the equation. The equation's been given. This is the equation. So I'm rewriting the equation x plus 4 over x equals 6. This is the drawn equation that we drew the curve for this equation. So you've got to compare these two. Compare and check the differences of this one and this one. Let's compare it. So by drawing a suitable line, I got to draw a suitable line for this one. Not a curve, we got to draw a line. Therefore, I have to figure out this is a line. Therefore, I have to find the equation of the straight line. Now, I know that there's a strong similarity between this one and this one. Only difference is there is no half out of bracket. So I'm going to include half for that one. Then I can match them. X plus 4 over x. Since this is equation, to make it balance, I got to put half here as well. So then 2 times 1, 2 times 3. Then half times x plus 4 over x equals 3. Now I know that this part, instead of this part, I can write y. Then I'm writing y here. Here equals 3. Then y equals 3. Then let's draw the line y equals 3 because we form the equation which is y equals 3. As I know that this part is equals to y, it is given in the original question which is y equals half times x plus 4 over x. Since it is y, I am getting this one as y, then y equals 3. Then let's go back to the curve and draw y equals 3. So I came to the curve here. Then let's draw y equals 3. Y equals 3 is from here. Now I need to get the solutions. To get the solutions, I have to get the answers of these intersecting points. So these are the intersecting points. You need to get the reading of this one. So this is 0.8. This is 5.2. Then my answers would be 0.2 and 5.2. 0.8 answers would be 0.8 and 5.2. Zero 0.8 and the other one is 5.2. So these are the solutions. Question 13, indices. Simplify fully. 125 x to the power of 6 over y to the power of 15 all over 2 to the power of 3. This everything is raised to the power of 2 over 3. First thing, let's rewrite this one. Then I'm getting 125 x to the power of 6 over y to the power of 15. So here power 2 over 3. Now remember, when there is power out of bracket, this power should be applied each and everything inside the one. The powers of this one. Now here assume you should know that 125 to the power of 1, then this one to be applied to 1 and this one to be applied to this one as well. Right. Let's see how to apply it. Equals 125 to the power of 2 over 3 because 1 into 2 over 3, 2 over 3. X 6 times 2 over 3 over y to the power of 15 into 2 over 3 equals, so use the calculator straight away and get what this mod 1, you need to get rid of this one. Then 125 to the power of 2 over 3. 2 over 3, get it from the calculator which is 25. Then I am getting 25 x to the power of 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 2 to the 2 into 2, 4 over 3 into 3 times 1, 3 times 5, 5 times 2, 10, y 10. This is the answer. Next one, given that 4 to the power of n equals 4 to the power of m over 64 to the power of p. This is indices equations with indices. So you get to here, whenever you've been given that equation in terms of indices, you got to write each and every one with the same base. Now the base here is 4, base here is 4, base here is 64. Try to write each and every number with the same base, with the smallest base. Now I'm writing this one because it is the smallest one, 4 to the power of n. This is 4 to the power of m. I'm trying to write 64 as 4 to the power of something. So you can use the calculator. 4 into 4, 16. 16 into 4, 64. Therefore 4 to the power of 3 equals 64. Then let's write this is 4 to the power of 3. Still you are getting P, then here P as well. Right, we know that when dividing, we have to subtract the powers. Then this side you are getting 4 to the power of n equals 4 to the power of m minus 3p. Then I can write n equals m minus 3p. This is the answer. Question 14. The cumulative frequency graph shows information about the heights of 40 plants that Greta has grown. So there are 40 plants that she has grown. So we need to use the graph to find an estimate for the median height. So I need to get what the median height is. How do I get the median height? Median height equals, median height means Q2. So I know that Q2 equals N over 2. N means total frequency. So N equals total frequency. So total frequency is given in the question here. 40 plants. If not, you can get that edge. You have to come back over here. This is the total frequency, which is 40. So let's apply that one. 40 over 2, which is 20. Then you need to get the 20th reading, right? So let's go back to the graph and draw a line from 20. Let's draw a line from 20 here. And you have to come down and get the reading. So we are getting the reading as 27. So the reading is 27. Next part, use the graph to find an estimate for the interquartile range. How do you get the interquartile range? There is a formula. Interquartile range means IQR. IQR equals Q3 minus Q1. How do you get Q3? Q3 equals 3 times n over 4. So I know 3, n means 40 over 4, which is 3 into 40 over 4 means 30. And I need to get the 30th reading. So let's go back to the graph and get the 30th reading. So this time let's get the 30th reading. So I'm going from 30 and all the way come down, which is 35. So I'm getting Q3 as 35. Q3 as 35. Now let's get Q1 because IQR equals Q3 minus Q1. Then let's get Q1. Q1 equals N over 4, which is 40 over 4, which is 10. Then you have to go to the 10th position and get the reading. So let's draw a line from 10 here and here. So I'm getting it as 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So my Q1 is 18. Then I can get what IQR is. This is 18. IQR equals, remember to get the reading, IQR equals 35 minus 18. 35 minus 18, which becomes 17. So my IQR is 17. So remember, when you have to come all the way from here to get Q3, and this is not Q3, you need to get the reading from downwards. So this reading is Q3. This is your Q3. This is your median. Q2 means median. So you need to get this reading to get the median. Here this is Q1. This is not Q1. This is not the median. You need to get the down reading to get the median and Q1, Q2, Q3. So we are done with part B. Let's move on to part C. Part C says plants with a height greater than 40 centimeter are premium plants. Greater than 40 centimeter are premium plants. Greater sells all the premium plants for 30 euros each. Work out the total amount of money Greater receives for the premium plants. Then you need to figure out how many premium plants are there. So plants with a height greater than 40 centimeters. So you have to go back to the graph and plants with height greater than 40 centimeter. Greater than 40 centimeter. So let's figure out how many plants are there which greater than 40 centimeter. So this is height. Then you have to come all the way from here. This is 40. Then greater than represent this side. Then you have to draw the line from here. You have to draw the line from here, from 40 all the way to the graph. And to get the frequency, you need to come to this side. So we are coming over here. This time we are, instead of going go to down, we are going here. Now you need to get this reading. This is 34. So we need to get the plants which are the height greater than 40 centimeters. So this region is the greater than region. Then this is the greater than region. Therefore, this is the greater than region. Then you need to get this reading. How do we get it? 40 minus 34. So there are 40 minus 34 plants. 40 minus 34 plants which height is greater than 40 centimeter. So each plant is sold for 30 euro. Therefore, total earning by selling those 30 plants, we are getting 180 euros. Question 15. Circle theorems. A, B, C and D are points on a circle with center O. Angle DAB equals 48 degrees. Work out the size of the obtuse angle DOB. Give a reason for your answer. Circle theorems. How do we do? We can, as soon as you see this one, okay, and this one, there is a relationship between these two. This one and this one. If I get this one and this one, this is angle at circumference. Here, this is the circumference. And this is the angle at center. So, this is the way how we get the approach for this question. Whenever center is labeled and it is emphasized in the question here, center O, there should be a link between center theorem, center related theorem. What is the center related theorem? Angle at center equals twice the angle at circumference. It means if this is x, this is 2x. If this is 50, this is 100. Now in this case, this is 48. Therefore, DOB, which is obtuse, we call this one reflex, which is greater than 180. We call them reflex. This is obtuse. Obtuse DOB becomes 48 times 2, which becomes 96 degrees. So now you have to write the reason. What's the reason? We know that the reason, angle at center equals twice the angle at circumference. That's the reason. Next one is we have to work out the size of angle BCD. Give a reason for your answer. BCD. BCD is this one. Figure which is highlighted in blue color is a cyclic quadrilateral. How do we recognize what a cyclic quadrilateral is? To be a cyclic quadrilateral, all the vertices they should lie on the circumference. Now in this case, all the vertices they lie on the circumference. Now this is also quadrilateral. Here there are four sides. It is also quadrilateral. Since this vertex it doesn't lie on the circumference, it is not a cyclic quadrilateral. So in a cyclic quadrilateral, the opposite angles, they add up to 180. Therefore, I can write 48 plus BCD equals 180. Then BCD becomes 180 minus 48 equals 132 degrees. The reason opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. That's the reason. Question 16, recurring decimals. The first step that we have to do in this question is equate this recurring decimal into x. So x equals 0.37878 they recur. Label it as equation 1. After that, the non-recurring digit which is 3 to be taken forward. For that, I am multiplying it by 10. Then 10 times this one, the 3 would come forward. Then 10x equals 3.78. 78 the whole set recurs. This is equation 2. Equation 2 to be multiplied by again 100 because there are two digits that recur. As much as the digits that recur, you have to include zeros and multiply this one. If, for example, now in this case, there are two digits that recur, therefore I am multiplying by 100. If there is just one digit recurs, then you have to multiply by 10. If there are three digits recur, then you got to multiply by 1000. As much as they recur, you need to include zeros to multiply. Right. Now, in this case, there are two digits. Therefore, I am multiplying by 100. Then this would be 1000x. 10 into 100,000. This one would be here. Now, this is 3.787878. So, if I multiply this one by 100, decimal point jumps 2 times here, then it would be 378.7878, right? It recurs. Therefore, let's write this one as 378.78 recurs. So, this is equation 3. Then equation 3 subtract equation 2. So, let's subtract 1000x minus 100x, 1000x minus 10x equals 378.78 the whole set recur minus 3.78 the whole set recurs. Then this is 990x equals 378.78 the whole set recurs minus 3.78 whole set recurs. So we need to minus 7878 whole set recurs cancelled out. 8 minus 3 5. Here 7. Here 3. Then 990x equals 375. Then x equals 375 divided by 990. Let's get the answer. Let's use the calculator and check whether it is correct. So 375 over 990. 25 over 66, therefore it is correct. 25 over 66. So we proved, that's it. Question 17, variation or proportion. T is inversely proportional to M. T is inversely proportional, so important. Inversely proportional to M. T equals 15 when M equals 36. Find a formula. So we get a formula. First thing, let's interpret this one into mathematical terms. T is inversely proportional. So K over root M. Inversely, whenever we are getting inversely proportional, we have to convert it into this way. T alpha inversely proportional. This is the symbol of proportion. So inversely proportional means 1 over root M. If this is directly proportional, it would be like this, K root M. So we can get rid of this one by writing, instead of this one, I can write equals K. If it is direct this way, if it is inversely this way, then we've been given here value of T equals 15 when M equals 36. Then K root 36. Root 36 means 6. Then K equals 15 into 6 equals K equals 15 into 6. 15 into 6. 90. Now you need to write the formula. You have to write the formula. Some students, they end up the question from here, losing 1 mark. You have to write the full formula. The formula would be K. Formula is you need to replace the value of K, which is this one. You have to grab this one. T equals, you have to write the value of K, which is 90. 90 over root 10. This is your formula. Question 18, Venn diagrams. Bianca asked 40 students which of the languages Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit they study. The Venn diagrams gives some information about her results. It shows the number of students in each subset. One of these students is selected at random. Work out the probability that this student studies Latin or Sanskrit. So to get the probability before doing anything else, we need to get the X and this one and this one. Let's see what can we do here. So I know that the total students, it is 40. Therefore, 40 should be equated to 40 equals 5 plus x plus 7 plus 2x plus 4x plus 14. 40 equals x plus 2x, 3x, 3x plus 4x, 7x. 7x plus 5 plus 7, 12. 12 plus 14, 26. Then 7x equals 40 minus 26. 7x equals 40 minus 26, which becomes 40 minus 26 equals 14. Then x equals 14 divided by 2, which is 2. So the value of x we have. Now we need to get one of these students is selected at random. Work out the probability that this student studies Latin or Sanskrit. Latin or Sanskrit means OR rule. When we have OR rule, we need to add the probabilities. So let's get it in this way. The probability of Latin or Sanskrit equals, so Latin, this is the circle for Latin, which means 5 plus x, plus this is the circle for Sanskrit, which means 2x plus 4x. So for the total, we have how many students altogether? 40. 40. Then let's simplify this one. So here 5 plus x, x means 2, 2x means 4, 4x means 8 over 40 equals 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 4, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 4, 11, 11 plus 8, 19, 19 over 40. Question 19, functions. The functions f and g are such that f of x equals 3x minus 2, g of x equals x over 2x minus 1. Find g of 3. The meaning of this one is you have to go to g of x, wherever you get x in g of x, to be replace all the x's with 3. So let's write g of, instead of x, let's replace 3 in g of x. So I'm going to write g of 3 equals 3 over 2 into 3 minus 1. Then we are getting 3 over 2 into 3, 6, 6 minus 1, 5, 3 over 5, which becomes as 0.6. This one, this is composite function g of f of x. So in this question, when doing this one, this is very important. The order matters. The order comes in this way. You have to do all the things first here, then come to this one. So we got to get f of x first. Then I know that f of x equals 3x minus 2. Right? Then instead of g of f of x, I'm going to write, I know that f of x equals 3x minus 2. So g of 3x minus 2. The meaning of this one is now, all the x's on g of x, all the x's in g of x to be replaced with, instead of x, you have to replace 3x minus 2. So let's replace all the x's of g of x, which is, now I don't write x, instead I'm writing 3x minus 2 over, instead of 2x, now 2 times, we do not write x, we write 3x minus 2 minus 1. Let's simplify. 3x minus 2 over 2 times 3, 6x, 2 into 2, 4 minus 4 minus 1. Then we are getting the answer 3x minus 2 over 6x minus 5. Question 20. Here is a quadratic equation ax squared plus 4x plus c equals 0. The solutions of this equation are given by x equals minus 4 plus or minus 2 root 39 over 10. Find the value of a and the value of c. Show your working clearly. We need to find a and c. The solutions of these equations are given by this one. So this is the solution for this equation. And on the other hand, I know that I can use this equation for getting the solutions. So I'm getting that you are getting this equation with the formula C minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Right? So let's substitute the values. Minus b. Minus 4. B stands for 4 plus or minus b squared, which is 4 squared, minus 4 into a into C over 2 times A. So this is the X solution when using this equation. X equals, I'm simplifying a bit more, minus 4 plus or minus. Here this is 4 squared. So I'm factorizing 4 squared, 4. Then here 4 minus AC over 2A. Since I'm getting here 2, can you see there is 2? I'm taking this 2 out of it. Then X equals minus 4 plus or minus. You got to build this up just looking at the format that you've been given. 4 minus AC over 2A. Then let's follow that format that we've been given, which is minus 4. So we've been given here minus 4 plus or minus 2 root 39 over 10. This is the format that we've been given. So we need to follow this one. Now I'm going to like compare the stuff, this one and this one. So this X is minus 4 plus or minus 2 root 39 over 10. So here 2 times A, therefore I'm going to write this one minus 4 plus or minus 2 root 39, 2 into 5. Then instead of here A, I'm having here 5. Therefore I can finalize that A should be 5. What about A and C, this C? So inside root, here I am getting 39. Therefore, I can write 39 equals, now instead of 39, I am getting here 4 minus AC. Then 4 minus A I formed as 5, 5C equals 39. Then minus 5C equals 39 minus 4. Minus 5C equals 35. Then C equals 35 divided by minus 5, which is minus 7. Then C equals minus 7. Question 29, frequency density. This question, the histogram shows information about the times in minutes that some trains arrived late at a station one day. 20 of these trains arrived between 10 minutes late and 15 minutes late. This is so important. 20 of these trains arrived between 10 minutes late and 15 minutes late. No trains arrived more than 60 minutes late. Work out an estimate for the number of these trains that arrived at least 25 minutes late. At least 25 minutes late. Right. Now analyze this one. This question, can you say this is frequency density? But no scale is given. Right? When the scale is not given, you have to try to figure out what the scale is. For getting the scale, here you've been given enough information, this thing. Depending on this one, you can find what the scale is. So let's write the formula for the frequency density. I know that frequency density equals frequency over class width. Right? So for this group, 20 of these trains arrived between 10 minutes late and 15 minutes late. So you have to identify the bar 10 minutes and 15 minutes. This is 10, this is 15. Then this is the particular bar, 10 to 15. So we've been given that frequency of this bar is 20. Right? Frequency equals 20 for this bar. Then let's write the formula. For this formula, let's try to get the frequency density for this graph, this bar. I'm going to get the frequency density for this bar. So the frequency for that bar is, it's given as 20, and class width, I know that 10 and 15, then 15 minus 10. Class width, you need to subtract the two boundaries of the class width. So this is 15, this is here in this bar, this is 15, this is 10, then 15 minus 10 is the class width, which is 5. So it is 5. Then frequency density, I am getting it as 4. Then let's go back to the graph and label that for this bar, the frequency density, we got it as 4. So it is 4. Depending on 4, I need to scale this now. So I'm labeling this one as 3, this one as 2, no, this one is 2, this is 1, then this is 0. So my scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, the frequency density scale. Now we need to work out an estimate for the number of these trains that arrived at least 25 minutes late. Remember, at least 25 minutes late means this minimum one can be 25. So 25 or more than 25. At least is important. At least means more than. 25 or more than 25. At most means, whenever you get the question at most means less than. Okay, less than. So here at least, therefore 25 minutes or greater than 25. So let's figure out where 25 lies. So I'm going to figure out where 25 lies. 25, this is 20, then this is 25. Then I'm going to draw the line here. This is 25. Right. Then we need to get the frequency all the way from this one and this one and this one. So we figured out we have the frequency density. So in this case 3. Then when getting the frequency density for this bar, this is 25, 30. So 25 to 30, the frequency density, we can get the frequency for this bar. Frequency equals frequency density, which is 3 into class width 30 minus 25, which is 5. So frequency for this bar is 15 for this bar. Okay, for this one. And this one now. Frequency equals frequency density for this one is 1 into class width is 40, 40 minus 30, 10. So frequency for this one is 10. Then frequency for this one again, frequency equals frequency density, which is all the way up to here 5, 6, 7, 0.7 into class width is 20. Then 0.7 into 20, which is 7 times 0, 7 times 2, 14. It is 14. Then we add all the frequencies together. Let's add them together. Then I'm getting 15 plus 10 plus 14, which becomes 39. So it is 39. Question 22. The curve C has the equation y equals x cube minus 16x plus 7. At 2 points on C, the gradient is 11. The tangents to C at these 2 points have the equation of the form of y equals ax plus b. Work out the two possible values of b. Show clear algebraic working. So this is cubic curve. Then it is the type of this one. So there is a cubic one. On this cubic curve C, if I get this one as C, at 2 points on C, the gradient is 11. The tangents to C at these 2 points have equation. So there are 2 points Once we draw two tangents to these 2 points, their gradients are same. So let's draw these two tangents. I'm drawing one tangent here. Right, let's draw one tangent like this. Okay, this is the point, and the other tangent is like this. So there are two tangents. The curve is like this. So this tangent touches this curve at this position and this position. What do we know? That gradient at this point is 11 and gradient at this point is also 11. What else? The equation of these two tangents is in the form of y equals ax plus b. We know that this is the form of y equals mx plus c. Right? Then we know already what a equals. So it is the form of y equals 11x plus b because a represents the gradient. Right, now we got to get what the y-intercept is or what b is. Now you need to think it like this. How do we get b? There is no proper diagram. Then how do we find out what y-intercept is? There is only one possibility to get one intercept if you know a coordinate where this line passes through. So if you can find out a point where this line passes through or these two lines pass through, then you are done. You can substitute these two coordinates into this x and y, then you can get what b is, right? So let's try to find out the coordinates at this tangent contact point. How do we get it? We know that gradient at this point is 11. So if the gradient is 11, when there is a curve and a gradient combination. Now, you know nothing about this question. Let's say you know nothing. There is a curve, but the gradient, do the differentiation. You get the differentiation. You can score 1 mark or 2 mark. So I'm going to get the differentiation as the gradient is given. Then that's the first thing I'm going to do. So dy by dx. Gradient means dy by dx equals 3x squared minus 16. So those who don't know how to do the differentiation, so if you are having an equation like this, let's say this is your equation. Let's say this is your equation 2x cube. Okay. Then we differentiate in this way. We start off with the power 3 and we multiply by the coefficient and we subtract 1 from the power. And then it becomes 6x squared. If you are having just x term, it becomes dy by dx becomes, now here dy by dx becomes just 2, right? That's how we do. If you are having a constant, it means you can't get the dy by dx, then it is 0, right? We know now how to get the dy by dx. So that's how I got the dy by dx, 3x squared. I have to subtract 1 from power, then it becomes 2 minus 16 when there is an x term. After that, I got to get right. Next, now I have dy by dx, 3x squared minus 16. I know what the gradient at these 2 points, right? They are parallel lines. These two are parallel lines. They should be parallel because they are having the same gradient. Since they are having the same gradient, I'm equating this one to 11 because dy by dx means gradient. This is the gradient formula. Using this one, you can get gradient. So as soon as you see in a question a curve and gradient, do dy by dx. Then equate. If you are having the gradient given, then equate them together. After that, solve the equation. There is a quadratic equation. So 3x squared minus 16 minus 11 equals 0. Then 3x squared minus 27 equals 0. So I can get, I'm factorizing 3 Then x squared minus 9 equals 0. Then 3 times x minus 3, x plus 3. This is difference of squares, or you can use the calculator, modify 3 and get the answers as well, equals 0. Then we are getting the answers, x equals 3, x equals minus 3. Right, we are having the x coordinate at these 2 points. What are the x coordinate? At this point, the x coordinate equals 3. At this point, the x coordinate becomes minus 3. Now I need to get what y coordinates are. So how do I get what y coordinates? Here, I know that this is the equation of this curve. So if I know the x coordinate of any equation, I can get what the y coordinate. Simply, you can substitute the x value into the equation of the curve, then you can get the y value. So I'm going to, when x equals minus 3, let's get what y is. So y equals minus 3 cubed minus 16 into minus 3 plus 7. So plug in the values into the calculator and you will get brackets minus 3 cubed minus 16 into minus 3 plus 7. Calculator gives us 28. Then at this point, the y coordinate is 28, right? Now we have another point. When x equals 3, let's get what the x coordinate is. When x equals 3, we have to get what y is. So again, y equals 3 cubed, no need brackets, y equals 3 cubed minus 16 into 3 plus 7. Three cubed minus 16 into 3 plus 7 equals minus 14. So in this case, I'm getting y as minus 14. So here we are getting y equals minus 14. So I'm getting two coordinates now. I'm going to write them here. 3 comma minus 14. The other one is 3 minus 3 comma minus 28. So these are the two coordinates where these two lines, two tangents pass through. Now I have the equation of the tangent. We've been given it as y equals ax plus b. We form what the gradient is. Then it became y equals 11x plus b. So let's simplify these two. Let's substitute these two coordinates into this equation. So I'm going to substitute when the coordinates are 3 comma minus 14. So minus 14 equals 11 into 3 plus b. Then b equals minus 47. Now I'm going to substitute this coordinate into this one. Then minus 3 equals 11 into minus 3 plus b. Here b equals 61. Then we are getting the answers as minus 47, 61. Question 23. Shape P is similar to shape Q. The table shows some information about shape P and shape Q. Shape P, surface area 200 square centimeter. Shape Q, surface area 450 squared centimeter. Shape P, volume of it is 672 cubic centimeter. Work out the volume of shape Q. We need to get what the volume of shape Q is. Now, similar figures. As soon as you have to deal with similar figures, you got to remember the three equations. Length ratio L1 over L2 equals K. K is the scale factor. It is the linear scale factor. Next one is A1 over A2 equals K squared. This is area scale factor. So whenever you have the linear scale factor, by squaring it, you can get the area scale factor. The other one is volume scale factor. V1 over V2 equals KQ. So if you have any of these scale factor, you can get the other scale factor. Let's say that you are having the area scale factor. If you want to get the volume scale factor out of area 1, you need to square root it, then get this one, the linear one. After that, make it cube, then you can get the volume scale factor. That's exactly what we're going to apply here. Since we've been given two areas of the similar figures, I can get the area scale factor. So my goal is to get the area scale factor. I'm writing it in this way. Area of Q over area of P. I'm taking area of Q to the numerator because I need to get the volume of Q, then it is easy. So area of Q over area of P, which means 1, 2. That's here we are getting one figure. This is the second figure. So area of Q, which is given as 450. Area of P is given as 200. Now I know that this is K squared. I want to get what K is. Then I can cube it and apply for the volume. Let's get what the scale factor for the area, linear scale factor first. So I'm getting here 450 over 200, which becomes as 3 over 2. Then the linear scale factor comes as K equals 3 over 2. Then K cubed, which is the volume scale factor, comes as 3 cubed over 2 cubed, which becomes 27 over 8. Right now I'm having the volume scale factor. Let's get what the volume of that figure Q, shape Q. So I'm writing VQ over VP equals 27 over 8. Then VQ equals 27 over 8 into the volume of P, which is 672. Straight away you can multiply by the scale factor, okay? No need to write this one. Straight away you can multiply. I just wrote it to make it clear using these three equations. So let's get the calculator and input 27 over 8 into 672, which gives out 2268. 2268. So the answer becomes as 2268. Question 24. D equals N over P minus Q. N equals 10.3 correct to 1 decimal place. P equals 7.24 to 2 decimal places. Correct to 2 decimal places. Q equals 4.39 correct to 2 decimal places. By considering bounds, work out the value of D to a suitable degree of accuracy. Show your working clearly. Before coming to this one, you should know how to get the upper and lower bound of these three measurements, individual measurements. Let's move on to the equation later. Let's learn how to get the upper and lower bound of these three individual measurements. So this measurement, which is N, is measured correct to 1 decimal place. You got to underline 1 decimal place and you have to get the place value of this one. The place value of the first decimal place is it is 0.1, and you have to divide 0.1 by 2 always. Always whatever the correct to get the place value and divide it by 2. Then it becomes 0.05. Next one, next measurement is measured 7.24 correct to 2 decimal place. Then you got to get the place value of the second decimal place. It is second decimal place. The place value is 0.01. Again, you have to divide by 2. Then its answer is 0.005. Next one is again 2 decimal place. So there is nothing to do work with. It is also 0.005. Right, now let's learn how to get the upper and lower bound of this one. The upper bound of n, you are having 10.3 is the original measurement. You need to add this much, which is 0.05, which becomes 10.35. This is the upper bound. So lower bound of n, 10.3 minus 0.05, which becomes 10.25. Next one is upper bound of P. So it is 7.24 minus 0.005. Then answer becomes as 7. Let's get upper bound. So it is addition, upper bound, addition 7.245. Now lower bound 7.24 is the original measurement. Subtract 0.005. We are getting 7.235. Next one is Q. So upper bound, its original measurement is 4.39 plus 0.005 equals 4.395. Low bound of Q, the original measurement is 4.39. From this one, we need to take away 0.005, which gives out 4.385. So these are the upper and lower bounds of the measurements. Now, how do we get the upper and lower bound? By considering bounds. Here you've been given in the question by considering bounds. When the question says by considering bounds, you have to leave your answer to a suitable degree of accuracy. You got to get both upper and lower bound for this D. Here in this question, you got to get both upper and lower bound of D. Right? So let's try to get both upper and lower bound of D. Then I know that D equals the question says that n over P minus Q. Now, if you want to get the upper bound, if you are getting upper bound, let's say I'm getting upper bound of this one. If it is a division, if you need to get upper bound, start off with upper bound. It means the numerator is always upper bound. For the bottom one, always lower bound. Now, if it is a subtraction, now for this subtraction also, you got to apply this upper lower bound theory individually. It means to get a lowest possible answer for the denominator, you need to apply here lower bound and here upper bound. Okay. The meaning of this one, just memorize this one. Let's say there is a division B over C. If you want to get upper bound, the numerator is upper bound, the denominator is lower bound. If you want to get lower bound, the numerator is lower bound, the denominator is upper bound. So you have to start for the division. You have to start off whatever you've been asked. Individually, you got to apply. If it is a subtraction, let's say A equals B minus C. This is a subtraction. It is also same way. If it is the upper bound, you need to get upper bound of this one. You need to get lower bound of this one. Always start off with the one that you've been asked to get. Here now A lower bound, then it is B lower bound, C upper bound. You need to switch this. Right now, considering this one, according to this theory, we need to get this is D upper bound, then you get to get upper bound of N, you get to get the lower bound of this whole set. Again, you have to individually apply for this P and Q. Here, this one, since the answer should be lower bound, this one has to be lower bound, this one has to be upper bound. Right now, let's substitute the values. Let's substitute. Then N upper bound, which means 10.35. So 10.35 over P lower bound. P lower bound is 7.235. Q upper bound. Q upper bound is 4.395. Right. Let's keep this one here and get the other one. I'm erasing this one. Need more space. Now again, D lower bound N over P minus Q. Then lower bound, this is division. I have to start off with lower bound. Then the answer for this one, the whole thing should be upper bound. To get upper bound, I need to get upper bound here, here lower bound. So let's substitute the values. Lower bound of n is 10.25. 10.25. Upper bound of P is 7.245. Lower bound of Q, which is 4.385. 4.385. Right, once you use the calculator will give the answer for this one is 3.64436. Goes on furthermore. For this one, it will give the answer as 3.58, 391, like this. Now let's round this off to the first significant figure, both of them. I'm going to round off to the first significant figure. Then this is the first significant figure. Once I round it off, it becomes 4. This one, this is first significant figure. This is 5. Therefore, I have to add this one to this one. Then it is 4. Let's round it off to the second significant figure. So second significant figure, again, this one stays as 3.6. Because the third significant is 4, it is less than 5. We do not add 1 to this one. What about this one? This is also 3.6. Because once I add 1 to this one, it stays same. Now I'm rounding off to the third significant figure. Once I round off to the third significant figure, this one stays as 3.64. This one stays as 3.58. Now, by considering this third significant figure, I can't go ahead because they are different. Then I have to end up with 3.6 because I'm getting same answer for the lower bound and upper bound. Here, once I come to the third significant figure, I'm getting different answers. Therefore, I'm ending up as my answer as 3.6. 25th question, sequences. The first term of an arithmetic series is 10. The 20th term of the series is 86. The sum of the first n terms of the series is 5194. Work out the value of n. So when we are dealing with sequences, you need to identify there are two types of things that you need to focus on. You need to get the approach for this question like this. First way is spot the word term. The other one is spot the word sum. So if you spot this term, then you have to deal with Tn. If you spot this sum, then you have to deal with Sn. And there's another thing. What's the meaning of this n? In both the cases, we are getting n. Remember, n means term place. It means term place. Let's say that there's a sequence like this 2, 4, 6, 8. N means, now if I want to discuss about 8, n means the position where this 8 lies in this sequence. So this 8 lies in the fourth position of this sequence. Therefore, n equals 4. Tn means the term itself, not the position. So let's say that the fourth term is 8, then you have to write T4 equals 8. The meaning of this one is fourth term of this sequence equals 8. Then when you need to substitute instead of Tn something, in this case, you have to write 8, not 4 for the Tn. Remember, the meaning of Tn means together term for the position. For this position, what the term is. Here, for this position, what the sum is. In mathematics, sum means we are adding up, right? The other stuff I think okay. Nth term, the other confusing thing is nth term. Nth term means the formula. You have to create a formula. Right, let's see how to do this question. There are two types of formula. You are getting it with the formula sheet. For this one, it is Tn equals A plus n minus 1 times D. That is the term formula, sum formula. You are getting it in the formula sheet. Let's see how to do this one now. These are the basic stuff that you need to know. Right. Let's list out the details that we've been given. The first term of an arithmetic series is 10. First term means A. A is given as 10. The 20th term of the series is 86. Here term, then you have to go ahead with Tn. 20th term, then T20 is given as 86. The sum, this is sum, the sum of the first n terms, first capital N terms, then n equals capital N, is 5194. Right. These are the, yes, that's it. Right, now let's see how to do it. Now, if I want to get what n is, now I'm going to write the formula for this one, which comes with the formula sheet. So it is Sn equals n over 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So this is the formula for this one. Let's see what we've been given to substitute into this one to get what n is. So instead of this n, now I gotta write capital N because that n to be is the one that we gotta get. It is a term position. And we've been given the whole Sn, which is 5194. N is capital N. A is given. N is the thing that we gotta get. D is the problem. We don't know what D is. Now our goal is to get what D is. Now this is some question, Sn, right? We have to deal with all of these stuff. Can you see there is an unwanted one is given T20? What the hell this is? Right. How do we get it? This is the hint. This is the hint. This is the hint. Use this hint. How do we use this hint to get what D is? Now you need to start off with this formula. The formula for this one is Tn equals A plus n minus 1 times d. Right, let's substitute the values that we already know. Tn, which is T20, is given as 86. So I'm going to substitute 86 here equals A is given as 10, 10 plus n. I know that this is 20th term, therefore n equals 20, 20 minus 1 times d. Now let's simplify. 86 plus 10 plus 20 minus 1, which is 19, d here equals. So then 19d equals 76, then d equals 4. So we have d now. Now straight away move on to this equation. So I'm going to write down that equation. Sn equals n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So Sn is given as 5194. 5194. N means capital N over 2. 2 times A. A is 10. Yes, A is 10. Then 2 times A means 20. Plus capital N minus 1 because N means capital 1. D we got it as 4. Right, let's simplify. Now algebra, that's it. You get a subject n out of this one. So 5194. I'm keeping n over 2 still here. So here 20 plus 4n minus 4. So I'm going to divide everything by 2 here. Then n, before that we'll simplify this one. 20 minus 4, 16 plus 4n. Here 5194. Can you see this is 16? This is even. This is 4n. This is also even. Then I can divide both of them by 2. So let's divide it by 2. Then I am getting 8 plus 2n. Here 5194. Then 5194 equals 8n plus 2n squared. Then we are getting an equation 2n squared plus 8n minus 5174 equals 0. I'm dividing this equation by 2, then n squared plus 4n minus one side divide 5194, it becomes 2597. 2597 equals 0. Now let's get the calculator. Mod 53. So mod 53 1 equals 4 equals minus 2597 equals, it gives me the factors x equals 49, x equals minus 53. Then convert them factors first. X minus 49, x plus 53. So just show that you are getting answers x equals 49. So now you have to go ahead with n. Don't go ahead with x. N equals minus 53. Therefore, the possible n should be 49. Term position cannot be negative. Therefore, n equals 49. Question 26. A solid cone is joined to a solid hemisphere to make the solid shown below. The cone is made from copper. The density of copper is 9 gram per cubic centimeter. The hemisphere is made from different metal. The total mass of the solid is 4752 pi grams. The total volume of the solid is 504 pi cubic centimeter. Work out the density of the hemisphere. So we need to get the density of the hemisphere. Before getting the density of the hemisphere, you should know what the hemisphere is. Then hemisphere, before getting hemisphere, you should know what the sphere is. Sphere is the shape of a ball or the globe. It is a 3D shape. It is not a circle. So if I cut this sphere into two equal parts like this half is known as hemisphere. So basically hemisphere is the half of a sphere, half of a ball. It is a 3D shape, not a circle. So how do we get the density of hemisphere? So density equals mass over volume. This is the formula. Mass over volume. This formula, you should memorize it. Right. Then if I want to get the density of hemisphere, I need to have the mass of the hemisphere. I need to get the volume of the hemisphere. For the volume, there is a formula for the sphere. Then I can make it divide it by 2 and get for the hemisphere. But the mass, there is no such a formula. Therefore, we have to figure out what the mass of the hemisphere is. Let's see how to get it. The cone is made from copper. The density of copper is 9 gram per cubic centimeter. So the density of the cone is given. I know that density equals mass over volume. Then I can get the mass of the cone. Because I have the density, I can get the volume. Because there is a formula for the volume. Then volume into density equals mass. Therefore, we can get what the mass is, mass of the cone. The total mass of the solid is 4752 pi grams. The total volume of the solid is 504 pi cubic centimeter. So since the total mass is given, once we get the mass of the cone, if I take away the mass of the cone from the total mass, the remaining mass is the mass of the hemisphere. So I can substitute that mass here and I can get the volume, then I can get the density. Let's try to get the volume of the cone then first. Then only I can get the mass of the volume. So to get the volume of the cone, the total volume of the solid is given y. To find out x. Without getting x, I can't get the volume of the cone. I can't get the volume of the hemisphere. Therefore, I need to find what x is. For getting x, we have total volume. So I'm going to write total volume equals total volume equals volume of the cone plus volume of the hemisphere. Right. Let's get the volume of the cone. How to get the volume of the cone? Let's write down the formula. Volume cone equals 4/3 pi r cube. Then hemisphere, we have to divide this one by 2. Volume of hemisphere equals 2/3 pi r cube. Now volume of the cone equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So these are the formula that we get to relate. We get to use to get the total volume. Volume of the cone, 1/3 pi r squared h, plus volume of the hemisphere, 2/3 pi r cube. Total volume 4000, total volume is given as 504 pi. 504 pi. Now let's substitute the given values. We have that r 1/3 pi x squared 5x. Height is 5x. Yes, height is 5x plus 2/3 pi x squared x cube. 504 pi. Now here I am getting 5/3 pi x cube plus 2/3 pi x cubed 504 pi. So I'm dividing the whole equation by pi, then pi will get cancelled out. Then 504 equals, I can add these two, which is 7/3 x cubed. Then x cubed equals 504 into 3 divide by 7. So to get x, I need to get the cube root of this. 504 into 3 over 7. Let's use the calculator and get the value for the x. 504, we have to get the cube root. 504 into 3 over 7 equals 6. So x equals 6. Now we have the value of x. We have the value of x now. So the height becomes 5 into 6, which becomes 30. Radius becomes 6. Now we know that the density of copper is 9 gram per cubic centimeter. Right now we have what x is, then still we need to get the density of the hemisphere. To get it, we need to get what mass is. To get mass, we can use this one. For the copper, we have the density. So this one is density equals mass over volume. For this cone, then by multiplying density and volume, I can get mass of the cone. To get the mass of the cone, I want to get the volume of the cone. Let's get the volume of the cone. So to get the volume of the cone, volume of the cone equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So 1/3 pi, r is x, which means 6 squared, h is 5x, which means 6 into 5, which is 30. Then let's get the value. 1/3 into pi into 6 squared into 30 equals 360 pi. So we have the volume of cone 360 pi. So I know that density equals mass over volume. Then let's get the mass of cone. Mass of cone. Mass of the cone equals density into volume. So density, it is given in the question as 9. Volume, we got it now, 360 pi. 9 into 360 pi, which becomes as 3240 pi. 3240 pi. We have the mass of the cone, then we've been given the total mass, then I can get the mass of the hemisphere. So let's get the mass of the hemisphere. Equals total mass minus mass of the cone. So total mass, it is given in the question. Total mass is given as 4752 pi. 4752 pi. Mass of the cone, we got 3240 pi. When we subtract these two, 4752 minus 3240, the answer comes as 1512. 1512 pi. So we have the mass of the hemisphere. We need to get the volume of the hemisphere now. We need to get the volume of the hemisphere. Yes. Let's get the volume of the hemisphere. So volume of the hemisphere equals 2/3 pi x cube, which comes as 2/3 pi 6 cube. Let's get the answer. 2/3, 2/3 into pi into 6 cube equals 144 pi. So the answer is 144 pi for the volume of the hemisphere. Now I know that density equals mass over volume. We have the mass, which is 1512 pi, and we have the volume of the hemisphere, 144 pi. Then we can get the density, 1512 pi over 144 pi. The answer comes as 10.5. So 10.5 is the density of the hemisphere. So I hope that you would get this one, and this is the method again. If you want to get the approach for this question, again, this is the way. Think like this. If you need to get the density, think how to get the density. What's the formula for the density? Then write the formula and think, how should I get mass of this one? How should I get the volume? Then if you want to get the mass, think how to get the mass. Since the total mass is given, if I can get the mass of the cone, then I can get the mass of the hemisphere. So if you have the mass of the hemisphere, you can get the volume of the hemisphere. Then by dividing them, you can get the density. That's how we do this question.